Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Craig and this is No Factor Garage. This is my last video in my 4R100 transmission series. After this we're going to be doing some other stuff and I can't wait because it's basically, there's way too many videos. I'll just say it that way, at least in my opinion. Alright, so I had 3 issues that came about, and I think 2 of them came about by chasing one issue, which was a very simple RPM spike. The transmission would slip about 400 RPMs. It would just jump a little bit. Now, chasing that problem, I ended up dropping the transmission pan, my valve accumulator, and my shift solenoid. I ended up dropping both of those, and I ended up trying to clean them and then putting them back up, especially the shift accumulator. That didn't seem to help, and if anything, it seemed to cause another problem. At least I think it caused this other problem, which is it felt like I had a headwind. Once again, I brought it back into my driveway and I dropped the pan, and I figured, well, maybe I just still haven't got it clean enough. Well, I did all of that, put it back up, and the truck would not reverse out of my driveway. So, double whammy. It would go about 15 feet, and then it just, you could spike your RPMs up, but it wouldn't go anywhere. It was the darndest thing. Alright, so what did I do to fix them? Alright, so the first thing is I had to take the transmission out, tear it all down, just like you saw in the last video, and you saw the engine band clamp that was toasted. It looked like a circle, and they're supposed to look more like a widespread C. So check out the other video. You guys will understand that hopefully a little bit more. What was happening in my thought process is that where those shift accumulator is, what happens is when you take your transmission and you shift it down into manual 2, there's a little pin that slides up and down that redirects where fluid goes. And I think when you drop it down into manual 2, it goes ahead and it pushes enough fluid into that band. So if you're spinning your RPMs high enough, you're spinning that pump fast enough, you're building enough pressure, and it closes that clamp. And that was the issue. As well as while I was trying to drive interstate speeds, there was enough fluid seeping through somehow to cause this issue. When I went ahead and dropped it and put it up again, I may have forgotten to torque them to the proper torque specifications, or they were just twisted enough and needed help. What happened is I took both of those. I took a flat level surface like a piece of granite, a 1200 grit sandpaper, and I put it on with some water, and I just went to town. Just shine that area up so it would sit back down on the transmission and it would be as flat as possible. I torqued it down to specs as required. With that there being said, that solved the 2 issues. Now, I believe that's where my headwind and my engine band burnt up came from. The last one, which is the first one I mentioned, I believe is my shift solenoid. Now, I'm going to show you guys, but down here in between there was a burnt spot where you can see plastic it was supposed to be. And when I held it side by side, this one versus the old one didn't have it. So that's why the old one's in the truck right now. The old one seems to be doing great. And as of right now, I have 4,000 plus miles on this transmission rebuild, and it's running great. Now, I haven't done any heavy towing, but we'll get there eventually. I haven't actually needed to tow anything. But that's it. So I would definitely suggest you sand those 2 pieces that come down, the other 2 that bolt down right beside this one, and then buy your shift solenoid from a very reputable dealer. Hopefully you guys don't have any of these problems. And if you take care of the sandpaper, sand that all down, make sure that those valves are clean. I'll try and leave a link in the description below. There's a guy out there who explains how to clean this, how to rebuild the 4R100 transmission way farther in depth than the guy that I used, and he talks about cleaning this, and I definitely think that was one of the big issues that I ran into, and that's one of the reasons I had to take the transmission out again. And as of right now, we're going. We have the old shift solenoid pack, and we have the old torque converter, and we have the old engine band clamp in there. So as long as all of those can hang on for another 300,000 miles, we should be good. Alright guys, if this is one of my first videos you've come across, I try and drop one every Thursday. Now, not at 6, but at 8 p.m. So, literally, it's almost 6 right now. I'm supposed to be somewhere in a half hour, so we're going to see if I can't get this all put together and out there for you guys to watch. Till next time, thanks for watching.
Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but there's one at the bottom. That's how they're supposed to look, and there's supposed to be 2 more. And as you can see, they're not there. They're just burned up and gone. Yeah, what's just 300 bucks?